Right, so we've got the shock built, and one of the hardest parts of this was, one of the hardest parts is just in there at the bottom of there's an O-ring, and you kind of have to pinch it from the side to let it like open up a little bit and then try and get that O-ring off. That's the hardest part of doing this. So rear shocks takes 600. So we're going to top this up. Make sure that there's some fluid gone underneath the piston. Right. And what you want to do is just try and get a little dome on the top. Right, I'm happy with that. So I've already taken the bleeder screw out, which is sitting on the end of the screwdriver there. So, and the difference with an emulsion is you put an O-ring up the top there and you don't have an O-ring in the bottom, and you don't have a bladder. So you do away with the bladder, take away, oh, is it? No, don't think it has an O-ring down there, but you put an O-ring in at the top of the cap, and then obviously you have your bleeder screw. That's the difference between a bladdered and bladderless. So you're going to do this up nice and tight, because we shouldn't need to take it off again. Just make sure it's done up well. I haven't got one of the Tekno wheel nuts wrenches, so I haven't got one to do that on the top. So what we're going to do now is literally just slowly push it up, and you'll have excess coming out. And then with the other hand there, get a clean bit of towel, keep it pushed up, wipe the excess off, and get your bleeder screw. So I hope you can see that. Pop that in, do that up tight. So that is all the way in. So there's several videos, and one of the Tekno videos explains it like this, and they do 10 pumps. Now originally last year when I built this truck, I watched a video and someone done 20 pumps. So I did the 20 pump method, and it's worked fine throughout the year. So you can do it however you want. Some people will just put it up like that, do that up, and that's it. You've got a dead shock. So that's kind of what you want. That is one way of doing it. You can leave it there, or what I do is 20 pumps. And then we're going to leave that all the way down. Pop that bleeder screw back out. We'll leave it on the end of our driver, and then we're just going to slowly push back up again. Just get a little bit come out the top. Clean bit of towel. Give that a wipe. And that's now emulsified. And then do your bleeder screw up. So now you should have little to no rebound whatsoever. That doesn't pull back in. Got a tiny little bit to stop to push back there. And that is it. That is how you do your emulsion shock. Now you put your spring back on and everything else, and goes back on the car. So pretty simple. And if there's any questions regarding this, hit me up and I'll see if I can answer them for you. And I'm going to get on with the other two, so I'll see you in a second. Right, so this is my stopping point for now. So shocks are all done, they're all on there and ready for the new diff bearing that goes in the back of here. So I can get that together. So I've got 2 new bearings to go in there, but the pile has come right down. So we've literally got wheel nuts, rear mud guards, spoiler to go on at the end, I'm really happy with how it's coming out so far. So let's wait for this other bearing to come in tomorrow, and then I can get this reassembled, put back together. Oh, just another little tip. Now, if you've got a Tekno, see these here. I think everyone I've ever spoken to said they've always end up with blisters when they're doing them up. So if you use some of your assembly lube, so something like that, just a bit of a O-ring grease or something. There's an O-ring just in there, so if you just put a little smear, they go on lovely, and they don't move, they bite in there, they're still nice, but it doesn't kill your fingers trying to get it on there. Right, it's the next day, and good news, I've got the bearings that I need to finish off the diff, and I thought while I was ordering it, I might as well get the replacement out drives, and rather than just getting the normal ones, I've gone for the revised lightened ones. So if I'm going to this length to do everything else on there, I might as well get those as well. And a big shout out to Matt at rprc. I ordered these, or got in contact with him about 3:30 yesterday, and they was delivered at 11 o'clock today. So outstanding work, can't rate these guys enough. I'll leave a link in the description down below. So right, let's get this diff done and get the input shaft back in there, in the back part, and start assembling this car and get it back together. Right, so got the front all back together. I have one small error, so I put these in my basket to be delivered, but what I actually needed was a different size, one that goes in the back in there, which is exactly the same size as the one in the front there. I did find it. How I got it so wrong, I don't know. It should be that one there. So that's the original, which is too small now, and there's two of those in the new diff. So two of those you want, so you'd need to order a pack of those, which is 4, and that goes in there now, and in the front and rear are exactly the same. So I've taken the centre diff out, and I've just stripped it down, given it a clean, and I'm going to whack a bit of 20,000 in there and then pop it back on the rig. And then I'm going to put these, open up the rear diff again and put these new ones on the rear, as these ones got a little bit of wear on them. So while I'm here and I've got it stripped down, I'll chuck them on the back as well, and then I'll be back with you in a minute. Right, so next day, and we have bearings. So recap, last night needed a back bearing there, didn't have it, so I went ahead and rebuilt the centre diff, new bearings in there, new oils all cleaned out, and then I went on and put the lightened out drives on the rear end. So that is all done. We've got the rear wing on there, and now as you can see, this is the new bearing that goes in there, and that's the same size as what's on the other side. So there's two. Now this was the original, and as you can see, if I just slide that on, I'll slide it on there, that's the size difference of these new gearboxes to the original gearboxes. So you've got a bigger bearing, it should hold and last a bit longer and better with heat as well. So now all I've got to do is just chuck this back on there and put some steering links on, and then I can get it onto the setup station and start setting up my tow and camber. So I'm going to throw this back in the rig, and I'll bring you back in a sec. Right, okay, so got it all back together, steering and everything's on there. Now what I like to do is take my caliper gauge, and I have just gone round and checked everything. So what I'll do is I'll take a measurement from, starting on the back. So I'll take a measurement from that gap there, and then transfer that over to the other side. Just make sure that that's completely level, and the same on this side. Lock that off, and then just double check that they're the same all the way round. So using one of those, that way you know all your shocks are level. And now what I'll do is throw the wheels on it. I'm going to put it on the bench, and then from the middle of the car I'm going to lift it up like that, and then watch to see which one lifts off first and which one doesn't, and then adjust my droop. And then I'm going to put it on the setup station. Right, so I've moved over here now. I've just done my check on the back, so lifting it up like that, making sure both wheels come off the floor at the same time. And they're all pretty good. And the front also. So now I've got a battery loaded in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a drop, and I want to see and make sure that the drive shafts are level. So in actual fact, I could probably come up a little bit on the back, and the front's not too bad. If I come up a little bit on the back, that should just be enough. So if I get my caliper gauge again, let's give it a few turns. 1, 2, 3. I have a little read on this now. We'll just do the same on the other side now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, right. Let's try it again. Do the drop. Check. So it's still dipping down a little bit. So I want to take that up just a little bit more. Right, and we check it again. So almost there, almost there. I just want to come up just a little bit more. Let's give this one more try. Right, so I'm happy with the back. The back is fairly level. It's going to squat down, a nice bounce on rebound on there, and you've got quite a bit of lift before the wheels come off the floor. And we'll just check that one more time. So that side is lifting up ever so slightly, so I'll probably come up a little bit this side. Okay, I'm happy with that. And we'll just check the front. Now I'm going to tweak the front just a little bit, not too much. Just going to give that a couple of turns. Just measure this off at the front. Right, there we go. I'm going to have one more check. Right, so I'm happy because when you're on acceleration, that's going to come up a little bit. It's going to dip down, and back's absolutely fine. Right, I'm happy with that. Right, now all I need to do is take the wheels off, put it on the setup station, and then start adjusting this toe and this camber. Right, this is on the setup station. Now, if you don't know what this is, then this goes in place of your wheels. This will tell you your camber, and this here, when you slide it across, will give you your toe in and out. And again, you can do it on the same on the back. Check your toe and camber, slide that across, check this side, slide that across, check that side. Look on the dials on the back, and it will tell you how much you're out by. So this is out quite a bit. I mean, at the moment, the toe, this is toeing in by almost 5 degrees. Hold on, if you bear with me 1 second. I nearly forgot something. I need to turn it on so it centres. So it centres the steering, but the fans are going to kick in, so it might be a little bit of noise. So I'll just talk to you very quickly. And long and short of it, you need to adjust your links, your steering links, to make sure you pull it all in. Give it a little push up and down, double check it, make sure it's okay. Right, so we'll let that settle, we'll give that a little push. And yeah, so this is about 4 degrees toe in, and this side is toeing in also by like 3. So this needs to come out, that needs to come out, and our camber is well off the chart. It's up at 10. So we've got to really get the camber back in. I'm going to pull the camber in first because that can adjust the steering as well. So I'm going to adjust the camber on the top first here, check my calculations or my dials on the top, and then check it against the steering and adjust the toe in and out from there. So what I'm going to do is I'll have a little fettle around because it takes a little bit of tweaking, and I'll come back and I'll show you what I've done. Right, so after about 15 minutes, 20 minutes of a little fettling around, so what I actually did was, here now you've got less holes in this new tower. So I had them set on the inside, which was throwing me like 10 degrees out. I actually moved them to the outside and they were almost bang on where they needed to be. So I like to run like 1 degree of camber on the front and then cross down the top. You can see that or not. So that works out at 1, and then what you do is slide that across, and then 1 degree of toe, and then on the rear, if I turned it around, I've got 2 degrees and 2 degrees, and I'm also running, I'm going to be trying active toe on the back as well. So as the car squats down, the wheels will tilt in by 1 degree, which should give it forward bite, and then when you let off, it'll come back to their static position of 0, and then that way you can come around the corner, have the bite, and then as you come out the corner you can accelerate and it will push you forwards and give you more straightforward bite and grunt. That's the aim anyway. That's what I'm going to try for and give it a go. But this is how basically just how I set mine up. People do theirs in different ways and stuff like that. So, but that's just how I like mine set up. I tried it set up last season and it seemed to work, and it's you know it runs all right. So let's take this off. Let's put the new shell on there and see what it's going to look like. Right, so there she is. Finally done. I've got some new tyres. I'm just waiting for some wheels and foams to come in stock. But yeah, super happy with that. I can't wait to see this thing out in the sun because it's got the flip paint on there, as you can kind of see a little bit from there. But yeah, super happy. That's it, car's now ready to rock and roll for the race season. I've just got to stick my my timing transponder in, so it's in full place. I'll just make sure it's all level with the hole. But other than that, that's it, it's ready to go. So if you like what I'm doing, if you like my stuff, if you've got any questions, please give us a message down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the like button as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.